Hello, I'm Claire Louise Hay from BeHealing.com. Welcome to Psychic Cafe. It's Wednesday, hump day. How is everyone going? Are you good? I hope so. I'm good. I didn't have the best day yesterday, but I don't know why. My mood took a dive, and it could have been because of something I ate, in fact. Because after training, I was feeling really shaky, low blood sugar, and I ate a chocolate croissant, and I've not eaten anything like that for a long time. But my mood went down, down, down. So I didn't have particularly that good a day the rest of the day. It started off good, and then it didn't end well. But I'm okay now. I've had a sleep. I hope you're doing well too. I don't know whether it's something in the astrology, or if it's something I ate, or if it was, me reacting to eating something that I don't usually eat like that, or what. But I'm good today anyway. So mini reads, have we got anyone booked in? No, we don't have anyone booked in yet. If you want to book in for one of those one question readings, you can do so now. I popped a link in that live chat, and otherwise we'll be getting some cards out for the collective for Twin Flames, alternatively called people that want to get into a healthy relationship and take relationships to a whole new level than anything we've ever experienced before. Those of us that are doing the inner work, that know ourselves, that we want something more. I think there's a shift going on at the moment. And it feels like a revolution. I picked up on that on Monday, that energy. It feels like people having had enough of what's been going on. And that this can be in any area of your life, kind of thing. And kind of demanding more for ourselves. It feels like it's on a personal level to me, rather than, grouping, joining together. But what I can say is that I'm feeling a shift in my business. I'm feeling to shift my business. And with that, I'm feeling the pull to do more collaborations. And so you might be seeing more of that on my channel very shortly, and probably shorter readings as well, because I don't think the long form readings people are watching them anymore. It's all too long. People don't have the time for it anymore, so much shorter. You'll see much shorter readings from me in the future. Okay, so if you're interested in one of those one question reads, you could have a question about anything. It can be about relationships, it can be about your healing journey, it can be about your career. Whatever you want to ask your higher self. It can be just general guidance if you want. Ask away. So, what have we got with regards to healthy relationships for divine masculine, divine feminine? We've got, starting out with the feminine version of the King of Swords. She is the one with clarity, great clarity. Hey Maria. Oh, your internet's back up. Is that why you're missing on Monday? We missed you. Internet went out, huh? Well, Mercury's gone direct now, hasn't it? I think so. King of Swords. Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if a few of you might be feeling this. It's collaboration time. I'll be seeing a few people on the island today. Unfortunately, one of our friends died last week. Not here. Working on a yacht overseas. The men, they're dying young. It's really sad. So we're having a bit of a get together this afternoon on the beach for him. So sad. But yeah, I'm feeling this pull of more collaborations. Working with people, working together. I think I said a bit about it on Monday, that I noticed since I had stopped kind of being so involved in the gym and the running of the gym and all of that, and moved away from that, and just being a regular customer of other gyms instead, which is really nice too, to be able to receive rather than be one that's involved in it. I'm missing that teamwork kind of thing. I enjoyed that. You went well on Monday. Oh, your internet was down today. Oh, it's good that you're better, Maria. So the King of Swords, you could be getting clarity about anything, but like I said, those energies, I don't feel like it's just me. It might be heightened in me personally because of, well, the lack of doing CrossFit, yeah, so I'm kind of missing that community at the moment, but I have been doing Muay Thai training 3 mornings a week, so that community is there. And I've been getting out on the beach more as well and walking, and so my community's there too. So I've still got community stuff going on. I don't know, I'm just feeling the pull, especially like with work stuff. Thank you, Susan. So Susan's booked in with a question. I sent out an email to say that I was alive today, just to remind people. I might do that. Thank you, Susie. Yeah, it's really sad. I was hoping he was going to come back to the island. You know, he's just like one of the regulars that back and forth. I was hoping he was going to come back to the island. I was thinking about him a few weeks ago. In fact, I think I mentioned him in here because I realised that when he was here for a long period of time and working here, he would be the kind of guy that I would go for now. But back then, I was way too anxious. Like I had all of this anxiety, and I didn't even know at the time that I had it because I'd had it all my life. It was normal to me. But looking back, it was like, wow, I was really anxious all the time. Anxious. Anyway. Susie, thank you for booking in. Susie asks, what's my love life like in the next month? Nice question. I am going to pull tarot out for that. Love life for Susie in the next month. The month ahead. Susie, you got the Emperor out. Now this is a very strong character. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot from this. Okay, so I don't know if you're anything like me, if you've been following my stuff for a while, so you might be on a similar page to this, but Divine Masculine is very masculine energy. And I think for quite some time, we have been calling masculine toxic, or, you know, there's been this trying to figure out what's toxic, because we know there has been toxic masculine, right? But I think we've got to a point where it's ridiculous now, where it's like everything masculine is toxic, which isn't true. And I think there's a pullback happening within ourselves and within a lot of people of, no, I actually really like that masculine, like this really nice masculine, and I want to experience that again, and there seems to be a lack of that. But this is a very masculine kind of card, the Emperor. So I would say in the next month, you're either opening up to the what's the word? The positive sides of masculine, or realizing that you want someone that's more masculine. That you want, the positive sides, the positive elements of masculinity. And I think it's something that the masculine has been going through as well. I've been getting that in the readings, is that they're realizing the feminine energy that they're missing now too. It's like we've all become a little bit too homogenized now, maybe a little bit too balancing on masculine and feminine. And the world has gone a little bit too on the side of feminine, and it's not good, not in a good way. But yeah, so in the next month, you're either switching onto that within yourself and going, actually, yeah, I'm looking for someone that's really masculine and that's owning that kind of thing. Or you've got someone coming in with this energy to kind of show you. And part of who this will be might be triggering too, because I know in the pick a card read that I did on Monday, there was one of them that was like, you're going to have to surrender. I think it was in the deeper dive, but it's like, you're going to have to surrender to this one. And I know that's very triggering, right? It's very triggering to some women to surrender to a masculine. Well, only if they're going to take care of us, right? So, the Emperor, but I like this. Let's get another card out. So it might be, this energy might be coming to you from within yourself, of realizing it, inner work, or it could be someone showing up. But they could trigger you around control or around surrender or something like that. Hello. No, I don't do freebies. 7 of Swords, but my video readings are free, of course, the general ones. Oh, the 7 of Swords. Okay, so the 7 of Swords with the Emperor, it's like what I was saying. The 7 of Swords can come out when we are BSing ourselves. It can reveal what we got wrong, how we were thinking wrong, how You know, when we realize that, like, it's like, that used to trigger me. Why did it trigger me? I don't know, because someone said that it should trigger me, but it actually doesn't really trigger me. I actually like that. It's like a friend of mine, last year, I think it was the year before, she had this guy, he's visiting here, and she's with him, and I got on really well with him, and spending quite a lot of time with both of them. And she said, what do you think? What do you think of him? And I said, he's really great. So I have noticed, though, that, like, he will kind of take charge of you, you know, and tell you what to do and all of that. And she said, yeah, I quite like that. She's like, I quite like that, though. And I could see it, like, you know, I noticed that. And yeah, and she was like, I want that. That is what I want in a man. It's that kind of thing. It's that something you've been told, perhaps, that you shouldn't want, or that women shouldn't want, or you're going against women if you want that. You know, it could be something like that, or just an idea that you've got. Seven of Swords, it's like revealing a lie that you've had within you. Not you lying, but you know what I mean, around the masculine. So it should be an interesting month for you. It could be someone coming in to show you that. How do we know if we can open up to trust? Well, they've got to prove themselves, got to prove that they can. We don't just openly trust. Well, we trust as much as, like, let them prove they're trustworthy, you know? I wouldn't say just, like, blindly open up to anyone. Resonate, Susie. You're learning. You like take charge, man. Me too. You're triggered by it as well, yeah. Right? And so it's working through that, and perhaps a few of us will be doing that same thing as well. But there is that, the masculine that just makes you feel like you are cared for. And, you know, it could come up in any kind of form, like someone fighting for you even, you know, and the aggressive masculine protecting you. A part of you might be like, don't, you shouldn't do that. And a part of you feels like cared for and protected. It could be something like that, but should be an interesting month, Susie. Hey, Amber. Amber, if you want one of those mini reads, do you want me to pull cards out about that? I can totally do it. Book yourself in for one of those there. And let's get some more cards out for the collective then. King of Swords. So that's the feminine version of the King of Swords, meaning we're getting clarity about something. Divine Feminine is getting clarity about something, getting clear on something. Woman on a mission, Knight of Swords. So it's a truth that she's moving forward with. Knights are always forward movement, you know. And this is like, I've got an idea and I'm moving forward with it now. So from that clarity comes forward movement. Again, it's still just the Divine Feminine. Page of Cups. The fantasy, the imagining it first. It's an important part of the creative process. First of all, we have an idea. We get some clarity about ourselves, about where we're at the moment and ourselves and what we want. Then we move forward with that idea, like, I am going to take this idea forward and live this idea now. Page of Cups. Part of the process is imagining what that would be. So it's like imagining the lifestyle around that, or imagining ourselves having that. And so becoming that person that will live that. Whatever this idea is, I don't know, it could be anything. It could be an idea about, like, I want someone more masculine now. It could be an idea about, I want to kind of live my dreams, my dream of being an author or something like that. And then imagining what your lifestyle would be about, you know, around that, and start living that, or whatever you're getting clarity on at the moment. Like for me at the moment, sure, I've got a little bit of a relationship going on. In fact, I might be going on a date tonight with a rugby player. But it's mostly, I'm feeling like collaborations. I'm feeling like shifting my business. One, by doing shorter videos, because I think everyone's got less time now to watch videos, so I'll be making my dailies a lot shorter, and probably the pick of cards a lot shorter as well, and perhaps working on some shorts. But collaborations, I'm feeling collaborations. If any of you guys, you've listened to people that interview people, or you know, podcasts, let me know. Let me know who those people are, and I'll kind of get in touch with them. I know in the last couple of years, I've been very much feeling like do my own thing by myself kind of thing, but now I'm feeling like collaborations is where it's at. So if there's someone I should talk to, let me know. I've got my own ideas, I've got my own people kind of thing, but you guys might know too. Okay, so the Page of Cups. So then we're dreaming up this, the scenario around us having what it is that we want, that we've got the clarity on. And then the Knight of Wands, this is other energy. So someone comes in to match that, that's also excited about that, that also has a passion for that thing, who's got a similar vision, or a vision that matches in some kind of way, that can be integrated in some kind of way. See, I'm feeling this collaboration energy, whether it's relationship or what, I don't know. But it could be in any area of our lives, I think. So someone comes in with a similar passion, doesn't feel romantic yet. Could be leading to romance, perhaps. The Ace of Pentacles, and a seed is planted. A seed is planted for something new in your life, going to be long-lasting. It's like the start of a new chapter. Again, it doesn't feel like the start of a new relationship. It feels like the start of a new chapter that might be leading to a new relationship. So a seed is planted. Page of Swords. It's like very, very much starting something off the Page of Swords, but it's, see, I'm standing on all of these books. I love this card in this deck. Standing on all the books, so he's got the knowledge now. Yeah, he's starting as a beginner, but he's not really a beginner because he's got all the knowledge from all of these books. Everything that he's learned before might seem to be starting again, but really is not. It's starting as someone who's much wiser. So it's the start of something new. Lots of swords here. So a lot about us thinking something through, thinking about what it is that we want, getting clarity about that. Taking that idea forward, so keeping a focus on what it is that we want. Formulating how we're going to get there, that kind of thing. Starting it off and investing our time and our effort into that. It doesn't feel romantic, this, at all. This feels like you're being called. We're all being called to get focused on, yeah, something that we're passionate about. But this is more like getting clear, like, what are you going to have in your life? Where are you going to go? What are you going to create? That kind of thing. And just getting really clear in our minds about that. You could be starting a new career or a whole new lifestyle or something like that. But someone's going to come in with matches that has a similar dream or similar passions. But it feels more like a collaboration energy than it does a romantic energy. Someone to work with or someone to build something with. A seed's planted. It's all very much beginnings, this. New beginnings. Hey, Taylor. Oh, no. So, yeah, if anyone wants one of those one-question readings, book in there. If you've put your question in the comments here, I can take it from there. You don't need to type it all in again and when you've booked in for it. So let's get into this then. What this shift is, because there's a shift going on, like a new chapter in our lives. I don't know why. I don't know why now. It's probably something in the astrology. If any of you know about astrology, you might be able to tell me. But it does seem like, you know, when we get to the end of a road kind of thing, and we're like, what I've been doing isn't working anymore, or it's gone a bit stagnant. And it just comes that point where we're like, okay, I need to change now. Change is in order. So, something on my tongue. Okay, so let's get some more cards out about this. Can we have some more clarity, please, on all of this to help us along this new chapter way? It feels like, especially with what the dailies have been saying as well, so there's been a lot of romance in the dailies, which I haven't been experiencing. I don't know about anyone else. But it feels very much like our hearts could have been pulling us towards something, perhaps in the previous months, but now we're getting clarity on it. Now we're getting like our heads in order, you know. Ace of Pentacles again, or the Ace of Earth, or the One of Earth in this deck. This card means that anything is possible. From where we're at right now, anything is possible. So there's a lot of possibilities opening up. It's the seed. Again, Ace of Pentacles, the seed that's planted, that is, anything is possible now. So if you felt like something just hasn't been possible for you, it is now. Possibilities are opening up. All kinds of possibilities. There's omens about it. You've been getting signs about it, says the Four of Air. Yep. So I hadn't noticed that in this card before. So there's a black cat about to walk in front of him. There's a queen, like a little fairy, putting a queen down there. So a queen on the floor. Hey Taylor, no, the reading isn't for you unless you've booked in. You need to book in. There's a link. Here's the link. This is for the collective, this reading. So there's one fairy or whatever it is pushing the cat to walk in front of him. Focus! And there's one putting a coin in. You know when you find coins on the floor, do you ever do that? Do you find coins, or is it white feathers? Then there's another one pushing a crow, like crows give that the messages, right? Or raven, is it? I don't know what the other one is. Berries or something. No, it's a four-leaf clover. Look like berries. A four-leaf clover, so a lucky sign. So we've had omens about this. So you'll have been getting signs for whatever it is in your life. It's going to be different for all of us, so I've got to go really general with this. Like, as I said, for me, it's this collaboration thing is coming up for me. Then we've got the elemental of earth, so earthy energy being put in by the universe, as in, okay, get your money, your house, where are you, what is it you do, you know, all just the earthly things. So it's very grounded. The signs could have been coming through the earthly things as well, you know, rather than through meditation and ideas and stuff like that. It's going to be more grounded kind of an energies. We've got the Crone of Air. There's something that needs to end. So in our wisdom, when we shut the book on something, we're like, that's the end of that. That's the end of that chapter. That's the end of me doing that. That phase has ended in my life. No longer be doing that anymore. So it's the part where we realize I can't keep on going on as I have. It's not really that point. I feel like we've already reached that point, but it's like, okay, that era of my life has ended, that kind of thing. And the Maiden of Earth, starting a new one among the fresh blossoms. So it's like new starts, new ideas, new collaborations, new things springing up. And she goes with it as well, the Maiden of Earth. She flows with it, and she's kind of, let me read her out. I'll read out the Maiden of Earth, so you know what this energy is. She takes her place among the new blossoms of the field. She brings a sense of lightness and gratitude, a joyful appreciation and a celebration of everyday blessings. So it's like this going with the flow and celebrating it and new things showing up. It's that being open and a bit excited about what's coming, about the newness. Very different energies, right? The Crone of Air closing the chapter, and then the Maiden of Earth. Okay, open to new things now. Bringing on change, new things. Then we've got the Eight of Earth. The Eight of Earth being woodland creatures, is it? I don't know, I can't remember this one. I'm going to have to check it. The Eight of Earth is air creatures. Thank you, Shelley. Air creatures. Like trees, we imbue creatures of the air with so many symbolic meanings, both specifically and generally. As a group, they're associated with the element of air, of course. Therefore, with thoughts, communications. We think of them as messages from the gods and goddesses. With our ability to fly, we cannot help but think of freedom. Specifically, crows and ravens are associated with the goddess. Butterflies being to bring to mind transformation. There was a dragonfly trying to get in my door, just like bashing its head on the door yesterday. That was a bit strange. Bees represent love, productivity, and the possibility of the impossible. With our sea creature brethren, we tend to think of where we came from. The creatures flitting through the air make our souls and minds sing with ideas of what we might become. Yeah, that. The ideas of what we might become. The Eight of Earth asks you to reach higher, stretch further, dream bigger. Whatever it is you're attempting, it's not even close to what's potentially possible. Slough off whatever baggage is holding you earthbound. Make yourself as light as possible by letting go of doubts and focusing on what you know is possible. So really a time to reach high. Reach higher, go for more. We are still not dreaming a big enough dream for ourselves yet. This character, the Knight of Wands, that is coming into our life might broaden our minds a little as to what is possible. Shelley, thank you for booking in. Should you move to a new home for a fresh start? New home for a fresh start for Shelley? Should she? No. Why not? Not yet. Why not? Perhaps you need to dream bigger, reach higher. Let's see. Intimacy and growth. Okay. What this intimacy is about, knowing ourselves properly so that we can fully be ourselves, and growth, of course, is about growth. So this is saying no, not yet, because you need to know yourself better first. We don't want to make a move until we're really sure about something. And especially with this reach higher energy as well, it's not a time to move until you're like, you know exactly what it is. It's like, it's not a time to move until you're excited about what you're creating and you've had that dream and it's like, this is what I really want. We don't want to do sideways moves here. This is saying, no, know yourself better first. Create a dream in your mind of where you'd really love to live. And then when you get excited about that, you wouldn't be asking, you see in the reading, you'd be like, oh my God, I had this dream of this amazing place. And then it showed up and, you know, you wouldn't be asking. That's the way things manifest. We don't want to be taking uninspired action. What this reading is saying is like, no, because like it's kind of uninspired at the moment. Dream a dream and then when you get those signs, move. How did I get to where I am? What, in the place that I'm at? On this island? All working like this. It's a long story, my God. Very long story. So yeah, Shelley, no, not yet, because you need to dream a bigger dream and then just start manifesting. Get back to your manifesting mojo of like, anything is possible. What is your fantasy place to live and lifestyle and all of that, and then make that happen. For me, a long time ago, resort living, like even when I was back in my 20s and I worked for corporate, whenever they sent me away on business, which they did every now and then, I used to love when they sent me to a hotel. I'd be like getting up early in the morning to go to the hotel gym, and you know, if there's a swimming pool there. If there was a swimming pool there, I'd be having a morning swim, going to the gym, then going to breakfast, and then going to work. I just loved the hotel lifestyle kind of thing. I'm like, yes, I could live this. I was in my element. And then when I was, I don't know, in my 30s, 40s, I was on holiday, of course, staying in a resort. And there's this magazine that I picked up while we were waiting for a table in a restaurant we wanted to go to. And it was saying about, I can't remember what the name of it is, like, there's an actual name for it. It's like timeshare, but it's not timeshare, but there's a name for this thing. And it's, you actually own a room or building or whatever in a resort. And it's affiliated with other resorts. And you can stay in that one if you want, or it can be managed and you can stay in other resorts around the world that are fully affiliated with this one. And I thought, oh, that's a great idea. And then I thought, but that just like ties you to just the places that have got this thing. Instead, you could just like live in resorts and pay for it, and then you can stay in any of them that you want. But it got my mind thinking about resort living, and it's like, that's just my idea. It's just ideal. I mean, is that for everyone ideal? I know everyone loves being on holiday and all of that, but for me, it's just like, yes, this is the way I want to live. I didn't do it with kids. My kids, no, I always had a house. I didn't start the resort living until they had flown the nest. But I wonder if you can, if you like resort living too, maybe, I don't know. What got me to this island was, wow. I've always lived in holiday places. I like the way that they change. I grew up in one, quiet season, busy season. I love all of that, all of it. I like it when it's quiet and we get to connect with the locals again. I like it when it's busy and there's a lot of people visiting. And so, yeah, beach lifestyle and holiday place lifestyle is for me. When I was living on a yacht, and I love the water, the ocean as well. When I was living on a yacht, I really got into islands in a big way. And we were sailing around east coast of Australia, stopping in places and, you know, anchoring up near islands, some of them with resorts on them, some of them not, some of them with nothing on them, some of them with a couple of people living on them, and that was it. I couldn't do that. Like, that's not me. People, like a lot of people that I know here have lived on this island for like 20 years, back when there was nothing here, and they were saying like, we only had electricity for like an hour each day, and I'm like, it sounds like hell to me. Some of them are like, oh, those were the days, and I'm like, I wouldn't be here if it was still like that. We've got the roads and a lot here now, it's nice. And so I was really getting into islands. And when I got off that yacht, so we broke up, which is quite spectacular when you're living on a boat, by the way, breaking up and leaving somebody when you're on a boat. But yeah, I got off quite dramatically because he'd cheated on me. And that was on Magnetic Island, which is off Townsville in Australia. And so I lived on that island. Luckily, we'd been in that harbour on Magnetic Island for a while, for long enough, couple of weeks or something, long enough for me to have got to know people. I was getting off the boat, getting around the island, getting to know people. I'd made some friends, and which is difficult to do when you're living on a yacht. But that was a good thing, because when I broke up with him, of course, getting off the boat was like, wow. Called one of my new friends up saying, help, I've just broken up. She's like, come around to my house right now. And I ended up staying there, and then moved in with someone else that I knew and stayed there for like 8 months. But I like that island. It's about the same size as this island, but it was mostly young families and retirees, and as a single person, there just wasn't enough there for me. Anyway, I moved on to the mainland in Australia again, to another holiday place. I ended up working on a yacht, like doing a fun job, as well as running this business, working on a yacht. Because I've had this business like 24 years now, 23 years. Working on a yacht as a fun job, because I miss the sailing and all of that, being out on the water, taking people snorkeling, sailing, booze cruises, that kind of thing. It was great, but very tiring. And then I was living in a resort, and when it got to busy season, they were kicking the locals out of the resorts because they could get per night what we were paying per week. And there's just nowhere to live. There's nowhere to live there. So couldn't find anywhere to live, had to quit that job, and a guy that I just started seeing wanted to travel in Southeast Asia, and I'm like, well, why not? Why not? I didn't have much stuff with me at the time, and I was just like, yeah, I can go traveling. I hadn't really thought about coming to Asia at all, although psychics had told me I'd end up in Asia like years before that, and I was thinking, nah, they don't know what they're talking about. I've never been drawn to Asia or anything. Apart from when I was on the yacht, I did say to him, shall we sail to Thailand? I don't know why, I'd never been to Thailand, but he said no. So yeah, then travelled around, and it's only when I got to this island that I'm like, this feels like home. I love it here. This has got everything that I want. Well, I kind of didn't think that first. I just thought, I really like it here. And as is what usually happens to me when I get to a new place and it's a place that I stay, is that I just start meeting local after local after local, you know, and really getting on with them. And so first of all, it was the guy that owned the yoga center, Castor. And yeah, he introduced me to a whole load of people. It just felt like home. And I'd got lots, talking about this reading, I'd got lots of signs about this place too before I came to this island, and I kept on seeing its name all over the place. And yeah, and here I am, still living here. Stayed. I love it here, it's great. So that's how I got to this island and the resort living thing that I do. Okay, what did we say? 8 of Earth. This is the reaching higher. I've got to reach higher. Wow. Wisdom card, which is the High Priestess. She's all about having a balance of our logical minds and our intuition as well. Not being all intuitive, because then we can end up a little bit silly and just going along with anything. And if we just go along with anything, like seeing everything as a sign and saying yes to everything, thinking that any feeling that we get is an intuitive sign, do you know what I mean? That's why we had like this earthy energy around this. It's not a feeling, and it's not something that you come up with in your mind. It's not an internal signs that we'll be getting. It's physical. It's earthy signs that we'll be getting. It's coins. It's, you know, actual things in our 3D reality will be the signs that are coming up. Because some of us have been too internally focused, getting our signs from within, or even from cards and stuff. Cards isn't physical enough, by the way. Cards is like the bridge between. My guides always used to say to me, Claire, you keep on asking us for the physical 3D stuff. You're the part of the team that's incarnate. You do that stuff. You ask us for guidance. Ask us for guidance and for the ideas. Don't ask us for the physical stuff. We can't give you that. You're doing that part of it. Get on with it. You're the one in that 3D physical body, you know, dealing with money and dealing with these things. You need to be mastering the 3D side of things, because that's your part in this team. And it's like, oh, okay. Okay. And this wisdom card is kind of saying that too, is like, the reason I'm putting it that way around is I think that most of you guys will be more internally focused than you are externally focused. This is saying look for the external signs and use your logic more than your intuition at the moment. It's good to be balanced. And I think, as I said, for most of us, to be balanced is using our intuition less, our feelings less. I'm not saying ignore them completely, because the wisdom card is about balance. We're wise once we can take both the logical and our minds and our intuition and use them at the right times, the right purposes. I imagine my guys have rolled their eyes at me a lot, you know? You know, asking for the things that I've asked along the way for them to sort stuff out for me. And I'm like, that's your job. What else? The Seven of Earth, sea creatures. Can't remember what this one's about. Can't remember. Seven of Earth. My arm is getting better, my shoulder getting way stronger. It hardly hurts anymore. It's gone from like pain of 8 or 9 out of 10 to like hardly noticeable 2 out of 10. I'm going to be able to use it soon. I'm still doing one arm training. Muay Thai training. I haven't gone back to CrossFit, but I've got this band, you know, like TheraBand, shoulder exercises that I do every day. It's working. It's cool. Seven of Earth, sea creatures. The Seven of Earth indicates that now is the time to move carefully. Pay attention to your environment and be extra sensitive to energetic flow. Move and experience things differently than normal. Recognize that this is a new situation and adjust your perceptions accordingly. Flow as gracefully as possible without jarring or upsetting the balance. So we're headed into some new scenario. We're going to put ourselves there because of some clarity that we've got. But it's a new situation. You might feel uncomfortable. You might have trouble acclimatizing to it. But you need to flow as gracefully. It's beginner. There's beginner energy in this, you know. We need to be humble and be a beginner in it and go, okay. Energies have changed now. I've changed what it is that I'm looking for. Let's be open to perhaps new collaborations, because that Knight of Wands is a new person. Oh, it doesn't have to be a new person. I just heard it could be someone that's already been in your life, but something like that. Someone that is getting on the same page. Oh. Okay. I don't feel like getting those cards out. So let's get some energetic cards out. Anyone else wants a one question reading? Book yourself in now. I can do that because I'll be finishing soon. Yeah. Pick a card read today. Later on today will be what's next in your love life. Let's check that out later. As I said, I'm going to be working on like shorter videos. I was thinking about it last night, but I wasn't in the mood last night. You know, like you should never take action when you're not feeling great, and I wasn't feeling great last night. Tickets for a draw. Oh, okay, what am I? A card's come out and I didn't even ask a question. The Lovers as well. Shame to waste that one, but I wasn't asking a question. Just want random cards. So let's ask a question pertaining to this. No, okay, about relationships then. So, divine masculine energies. So these collaborators, these ones that we're going to have some kind of relationship, working or romantic or whatever it is. The masculine side of things, the guys, the men, the masculine energies that are sorting these new directions out. Where's their energy at right now? The Sword. Cutting out the darkness, opening up to the light. Right, and after what I said about, you know, masculine energies before, with Susie as well, you know. It's an interesting time right now. I think we are realizing. Sometimes we need to go extremes, don't we, as human beings, to realize that we're full of crap, really. The whole feminine thing, hey. The whole oh, all masculine is toxic and they've been the problem. And then going to an extreme of like, let's be soft about everything and like pretend that the world could be this utopia. And no, it's not like that though. It's not like that. I think we've gone to an extreme, with like people being triggered and offended by everything. It's just gone too soft. I don't like that energy, that too soft energy. I don't think we can be feminine in a world like that. There needs to be those polarities, right? I don't think we can be personally feminine in a really feminine world like that. Then we've got the whole women have needed to be more masculine, which kind of sucks, doesn't it? And then men need to be more feminine, which kind of sucks too. And we're all like, what the hell have we, what have we done? What have we done? Interesting experiment, but anyway, divine masculine is cutting out the darkness, opening up to the light. Now, this could be, again, like realizing what wasn't darkness and what, what was never darkness in the first place. It might be reclaiming his darkness, reclaiming the things about him that someone's told him wasn't right, but actually is right. And I think for a lot of us, we can look back as women and see how we might have made men wrong when they weren't wrong at all, We could have got on with this feminine agenda kind of thing, the feminization agenda, got caught up with it and then be going like, yeah, you shouldn't be doing that. But we've feminized them where we shouldn't have. There was nothing wrong with it, So they could be reclaiming that darkness. Or figuring out like what they want to embrace in themselves. There's this, we get to a point, don't we, where it's like, I won't be told what's wrong or right with me. I know that it's fine. It's like when people have called me like too masculine or too muscular, or too strong, or too this, too that. It's me. It's always been me. Even when I was a little girl, I was exercising a lot. I was always that. It didn't come from an idea when I was a little girl. I was that. I was born that. And I'm not saying everyone should be like that, but for a long time I thought I should be more of this, well, there goes my ball. I should be this soft, like female, flowery dresses that isn't me, instead of just like taking my place. And I think perhaps the masculine has been doing the same thing too. It's like reclaiming himself and the mix that he is. There is no homogenized all women should be like this and all men should be like this. If we're true to ourselves, there'll be nothing wrong, right? I was saying that years ago. If we all do like what we'd really love to do, no one will be out of place anymore, because we don't all want to do the same thing. There's if you imagine like a small community of 50 people, nature knows what it's doing, right? And so a woman of that 50 gives birth, so then there's 51. What will be the characteristics of that person that is born? It's going to be what is required next to balance it all up. That there is an intelligence in nature, and we're part of nature. We can't, that's another thing as well that's been about the feminization, is like trying to divorce ourselves from nature, like we're not part of it. And like that's gone a bit crazy too. Like, don't eat natural things, instead eat artificial things. It makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. So there's they're reclaiming themselves, what was never darkness in the first place. That's what the masculine's doing. And of course, we might see that coming out in tantrums, like as if they've been persecuted and have had that taken away, and some of them have. Some of them have just been complicit and have gone along with that. Kairos says it's divine timing for that. There is revolution energy around at the moment. It's kind of nice. I picked up on this years ago. I expected to feel this feeling around 2012 and I didn't. I can't remember what date it was. It was before that. There was a revolution energy around before that. What else? They're about themselves now, knowing themselves, being themselves and all of that. It's about time, yeah. And then we've got the pilgrim. So this is like a spiritual mission for them. A path that they're on, a spiritual path that they're on, knowing themselves, being themselves, reclaiming themselves. The dead end, there's that energy. That's that closed book energy. That's the, I cannot go on like this. It's the, this, we can't unlearn what we've learned about ourselves. Once we have an awareness, especially about ourselves, we can't go back from that. We can't go back to what we did before and ignore that. You can't undo, you can't unknow something once you know it. And so we get to a certain point and there's just, we can't go backwards. That's where they're at the moment. They can't go back to the way that they were before. Something very interesting that I might make a short on this for my other channel. Something interesting that I'm noticing now is, especially in the fitness scene, which is health and fitness is what I pay most attention to. It's what I'm most interested in, personally. There is this, the masculine, a lot of men have got very vain. I think women went through this as well. I think with women, we as a collective went more the, I want to say prosthetic. I guess it is that, like fake boobs and all of that kind of thing, more that route. Now the way that men are playing it out is taking drugs. They're taking drugs like to raise the testosterone and things like that, to become like these supermen with massive muscles and stuff like that. And they're dying as a result of it. It's like, okay, women wanted to look better. How can we look better? We can get bigger boobs. And we had prosthetics put in, or we didn't, you know, but as a collective, I mean, what we could have done is, you know, doctors have gone, oh, women bigger boobs. Well, they get bigger boobs when they are lactating and when they're pregnant. And so let's create the artificial environment with hormones in the women's body to make their breasts naturally big by having them in this state of the body thinking it's pregnant or something like that, right? And it probably would have destroyed our health too. No, that the prosthetics haven't either. But this is what I'm seeing now, is that men are going down this route now, and it's like, oh, this is not good. And they're dying really young too from doing it. It's scary. It's out of vanity, it's out of, I think we're going to look back at this age, maybe similarly as we see women are kind of a little bit ahead of the men in this whole game. I think we're going to look back at this age and it's like where men got really vain and ended up doing things with their bodies that killed them. Good man. Dying young. Is the checkout page not easy to use? I thought Weebly was really good. Is that the PayPal checkout? How so, Shelley? What happens when you're on it? There's only so much I can control about that because it's just like the system that I pay for that does it all for me. But yeah, what goes on? Tell me specifics, and I might be able to change some of that. There's like certain things I'm like, I know I don't need your addresses kind of thing, but governments force me to get that because of certain taxes. There's taxes that I have to pay depending on where you're from. Yeah. How so, Shelley? Give me details. So what about the feminine? The feminine, the crone. She's like the crone, of course, it's the crone. It's the wise one. She's got more knowledge now about herself. She's also the messenger as well, as a result of that. There's oracle vibes about this, you know. Sometimes I wonder about my place, because you see the world going in this AI direction and all of that, and it's a bit like that movie. I can't remember the name of it. Keanu Reeves, you know, that movie. Red pill, the blue pill. It's a bit like that, the Matrix. And in the Matrix, there was the oracle living in the real world still, doling out the guidance, you know. I'm saying that because there's a pentacle in the crows, and the crow has come up a few times in this reading. There, it came up again in this one too. The crow is a deliverer of messages. Whenever there was one place that I was living in Australia next to the water, and my office was right at the front of the house. The back of the house was on the water, the front of the house was on the road, and there was a palm tree right outside, directly outside of my office. And whenever I'd start readings and start doing my videos in that office, the tree would fill up with the crows, and they'd all start squawking when I was doing my reading. But this one has got the Ace of Pentacles, which has come out twice here. The seed of something new. It's almost like the feminine is here to, not to lead the way, but to deliver the messages. Where else is the divine feminine at? Thanatos. What's Thanatos? Oh, Archontai. Thanatos. Thanatos. Personification of death. Okay. Endings. This needs to change. The coronavirus energy. The village. Community stuff. So she's seeing it. So if you're seeing bigger picture things, like I've been talking about it, right? The things that I'm noticing and the things that I'm picking up. You might be noticing things around your community too. So like I said, I'm focused on the fitness community and I'm seeing this stuff and it's like, oh, it's like delivering messages about that. I'm called to do that. I want to make a short about that. This is what I'm seeing in this young man and it's not good, right? We know when we go down this direction that it doesn't end well, and we learn from these lessons. So in your village, I don't know whether that means like the people around you, it could be that, or it could be whatever it is that you're interested in, the people, you know, the different communities, families that you're in, the different interests that you've got. You could be delivering the messages there about this needs to end, seeing it clearly and delivering those messages. The ocean, so divine feminine in this deep emotional energy. That was me yesterday. It was heavy yesterday, the energies with me. Deep emotional energy. What else? The bardo, between worlds, and the medallion. Taken from one place to another. The bardo is that character, sometimes denoted as the Grim Reaper, who comes with the boat saying, I'll take you to the other side, and then you get in the boat and they deliver you to the underworld or heaven or wherever it is that you're going. The bardo. So we're in transition at the moment. We're feeling it. Isn't it interesting with this? I was getting in our personal new beginnings, we're going to be getting earthy signs about it. And then this is saying we're picking up the messages for the collectives that we are each involved with in. For me, it's fitness. And I guess this space too, but not really so much. I'm really not picking up that much from this space. You know, like what needs to change for healers or tarot or anything like that. I'm not picking up those energies. Perhaps you are. Perhaps that's your space. I don't know. The medallion. Oh. So the medallion, it's about being recognized. Interesting. Ooh. There's some recognition that's going to come from this. From delivering these messages. In the communities where it's needed, some like wisdom. Interesting. And being noticed for it, you know. Oh, that's what I've got anyway. What's up, Shelley? What's up with the, tell me, you can email me or whatever, with what's up with that process, because I don't know what's wrong with the booking in process. If I can make it better, I will, but I don't think there's very much I can do. If you tell me the details, I'll tell Weebly, the ones that I pay to do all of this for me, if it can be streamlined at all. How did I get started in tarot? I've always had the gift of being able to hear. It came about through abuse. It was what I needed to survive. My childhood was that my guides helped me through. I thought they were angels at the time. But yeah, I always had to go within to even survive the stuff that was happening to my physical body from my family. And that checking out or checking in, whichever way you want to see it, had me talking a lot to my guides and all of that, and them kind of bringing me up. And so I was getting my messages and stuff like that. And then I noticed I was getting other people's messages too. So when people would ask questions of themselves or out loud, like, why did this happen to me and stuff like that, I would hear the answer. I wouldn't always tell them. Sometimes I did tell them. Then I had to have a lot of people coming to me like with their weird stories and all of that and asking me questions. Like they knew that I could do this. But I still wasn't upfront about it, you know. I quit my corporate job that I was in my 20s. I went to uni and all of that, and as an engineer, but there weren't engineering jobs available when I came out of that. And I went into IT because there was a big boom then at the end of the 80s for IT. So I went into that and I just couldn't do it anymore, you know. I was just like, I'm in the wrong, I'm not supposed to be doing this. Like, this isn't my life. This is not what I'm supposed to be doing. I kept on, each time I was on maternity leave and had like a break away from IT, I'd be like coming up with these business ideas. I'm an entrepreneur at heart, coming up with these business ideas of like having my own healing practice and all of that kind of thing, which my husband would like, no, you're not doing that. Knock down. I would go back to work after my 6 months off with my new baby and just get back into that same old and forget about all of these ideas until it just got to the point where it's like, I can't do this anymore. This is not me. My husband didn't want me to change. He wanted me in the IT world kind of thing. And it's like, oh, I got myself into something and I cannot continue down this path. Well, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. And then I just felt this pull like in my soul saying like, you got to be on your right path now. I kind of quit everything, started meditating a lot, thinking like, what the hell's happening to my life? And meditating a lot, of course, was the right thing to do. I had so much healing to do on myself. I was a mess. I was kind of functioning. Looking back, massive anxiety from all the abuse I'd been through. Still amongst my family and still being abused. Not in the same way, but the mean people. They ain't nice people at all. Kind of realizing that too, that this wasn't normal, because friends, good friends of mine, good people that were around me from uni and from, good friends that I'd made at work, would have any interactions with my family and they'd be like, whoa, these people, I don't ever want to see them again, and all of that. And that would make me feel shame, like it was my fault they were like that or something. I was messed up, really messed up with it all. So I had massive healing to do, but I was totally inept to help myself there, but pursuing the healing. My guides were just pushing me in that direction all the time of healing myself and pursuing all of that. And so I quit everything, including the marriage, the corporate career and everything. And I'd gone to visit my friend in Australia. So as I was going through all of that breakup and everything, my best friend had moved to Australia. She was there in her first year, I think 2 years. She was working for an English company. She had been put on assignment there to Australia, and she was doing 2 years to get her residency and all of that. And she was in Canberra, and she's like, Claire, come and visit. Come and have a holiday. And I'm like, good idea. So I did. I went out there. And when I went to Australia, I was just like, this place. I like this place. I want to move there. I only spent two weeks there, not the whole time with her, just like 2 days in each place. Got back to England, and I'm like, I want to move there. Everyone's like, you can't move there after you've just been on holiday. I'm like, well, I'll go back then. So I went back like a couple of months later for 3 months. 2 months, was it? However long the visas, I can't remember what it was now. Well, it might have just been a month, in fact. Maybe it was 3 months later I went back. So it was a long time ago. It might have been a month that I spent there, just to make sure, can I really live here? And it's like, yeah, I loved it. I'm like, I'm moving. So I started the process to migrate to Australia based on my IT stuff. That's when I quit the job. So I quit the marriage first and then quit the job, yeah. So as soon as my visa application was in, it's like I realised I don't need to do this anymore. I can get out now. And I'd become involved with this charity with this very spiritual bent behind it, focus, through reading a book, feeling very called to get in touch with the author of that book, which I did, and then going along with him. I won't say his name. If you're an American, you'll know who he is. But connecting with him, and not in a romantic way at all, just like both of us knew that we knew each other in past lives, kind of thing, and getting involved with that. And then I went with them, not with him, but with that organisation. They had places all over the world. There were orphanages and stuff like that. I went and did charity work with helping them in Africa. And then, so that's how I was filling up my time, just kind of pursuing all these things, just following the leads, that my guides were giving me. What next? Healing myself along the way with whatever was showing up. And then, like 18 months later, my visa came through for Australia residency, so I moved there. Started in Byron Bay, started up a business there, Byron Bay Neurotherapy. I'd been getting into neurotherapy because that charity was using them for the kids. The orphanages were generally full of kids that were going through the system, falling out through the cracks of their systems in different countries. So it's generally the ones with disabilities or with psychological problems, neurological problems, that kind of thing. And so they were using this therapy, and I learned about it there. And because I learned about it there, and I'd gone to quite a few conferences and stuff about it as part of that charity, when I got to Australia, there was nobody doing it in Byron Bay, which was amazing because Byron Bay is like a healing centre in Australia kind of thing. Like, I should do this, I should bring it. And so I did. I went to Melbourne and I did my qualifications for that, and then started up the business in Australia, which is this, Be Healing. It was called Byron Bay Neurotherapy. I changed the name of the business, but it's essentially the same business, same ABN. So I was working with kids, adults, memory problems, attention deficit, epilepsy, or things like that, psychological, neurological problems, and also helping myself at the same time. I noticed that when I was treating these people, the treatment was important, was good, yeah, but it didn't make as much of a difference as the things that my guides were telling me to tell this person. And so, you know, people would say to me after their treatments, which would be like 10 sessions, 20 sessions, they were saying, yeah, it was good, but you know what really made the difference when you told me that thing, it's that thing that you said to me, it changed everything. And that, I'd be getting a lot of that, you know, even from my friends. It's like, I've decided to change my life. I don't know what it was that you said that night, but you said something and it changed everything for me, and I've changed my life, you know. And so I just knew that the messages were more important, were more powerful. The messages that I was bringing were more powerful for change in people's lives than whatever modality I was hiding behind, which was neurotherapy at the time. I started to, that was it. I would be busy in like the school term time, but not in the school holidays. And I was working from home and renting a treatment room in a healing centre as well. The rest of the healing centre would be busy with massage and readings and stuff like that, energy healings in the school holidays, because that's when a lot of the tourists were there. When the tourists were there, my customers, the locals, were all busy tending to the tourists, right? So that's why I was quiet. And so the owners of the place said, everyone else is busy and you're quiet, Claire. Why don't you do massage as well? There was a massage course that weekend in that facility. There was a big hall at the back of it for like group events and stuff like that, as well as all the treatment rooms. It was an amazing place. And they said, why don't you do that massage course? It was a Hawaiian Lomi Lomi massage course. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. I might as well. And so I did that, incorporated massage in. So then that got me a little bit more rounded, you know, getting more into that kind of healing thing. And of course, I'd be using my healing powers while I was doing that. And delivering messages as well. Sometimes people didn't want to hear it when they were getting a massage. So I triggered some people for sure. And then when we were quiet, we'd all sit around, and all of those girls that were working there would do readings for each other. And when I was picking up the cards, they're like, oh my God, Claire, you're really good at this. I'm like, I know, I've always had this gift. They're like, you should do it. Why are you not doing it? I'm like, that was difficult for me. I went to uni for engineering. I've got a very scientific bent in me, very grounded, you know. And for me to go, what, I'm this woo thing? Really? You see, because the people that were doing it were not my energy at all, right? They weren't grounded. They were the ones wearing those flowery dresses. That, like, the person that was like the spiritual kind of woman doing stuff like that just was not me at all. I didn't see how I could fit in there, because I couldn't be one of those. I couldn't be one of those wearing those things that they wore. You know, it just wasn't me at all. But, of course, I could do it. I didn't need to pretend to be one of them to do it. So I went through all of this, like, I'm sure I am not one of these women that wear these purple and lacy things and look a bit goth and do this weird thing, because that's just not me. But anyway, I did it anyway, and I started to use those cards. That healing center was closed down. They sold the land or something. The owner sold the land, and I went and started working with, there was this one shop, this guy called Herbie. He's great. And he had this one shop. He was a massage therapist too. It was just one room kind of thing in its own shop. And I went and worked with him. So he had the shop 4 days a week and I had it 3 days a week. So he did like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I did Friday, Saturday, Sunday, something like that. Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And that was really good. So then I was doing my neurotherapy, massage, energy healings, readings. I got really busy with the readings and with massage too on those days, especially because it was the weekend and people would travel in Australia to come for that. And then they would end up like, coming for the day in Byron Bay and to see me, but they weren't getting to book in with me because I'd be full. So then they were like, well, can you do it anyway? And like, yeah, I can do it on the phone or I can send it in an email. And that happened enough times that I already had my Be Healing website because I was into actively healing yourself all the time, facing these things and healing these things. So it was already kind of set up like helping people out in that direction. So I just put like PayPal buttons on my website to pay because I was sick of like giving my bank details out for them to pay me. And then boom, it happened. Everyone started booking in online with me, and it was like, I really like this way of working. I got so busy that I didn't want customers to come in the shop. And I'm like, okay, it's time to shift to home. So that's what I did. Well, I think it's time to stop. Angle grinder outside or something. Let's do this mini read for you. Holy crap. He's chopping up big bars of metal outside, so let's do this. How should I proceed with Gavin besides go slow? Okay, thank you for booking in again, Shelley. Hope you enjoyed the story. I've said the story over the years many times, but obviously not recently. Be firmer and wake up. Okay, Gavin. Be firmer, wake up. Okay. So Gavin's waking you up to something about yourself. Let's find out what that is. And it's you getting like stronger about something. Oh my God. How am I going to work today with that going on? Freedom and forgive them. Right. Okay, right, I know what it is. So Gavin, he must have this bent for freedom kind of thing. There's something in that, right. Sometimes we can be insecure. When we're insecure, we can be insecure attached. So we can be more attachy, less trusting, less able to give people space and freedom to be themselves because of our insecurity kind of thing. So we're kind of managing our insecurity in a way, going, that triggers me too much, you can't do that, I need to cling a little bit more, That's insecure attachment style, right? So this is coming up that you've got the insecure attachment style, whereas Gavin requires more freedom. And the wake up thing is like Gavin is waking you up to this push-pull kind of thing, that this, I want freedom. It's like my insecurity doesn't allow you to have that freedom, and there's that. Whereas if you heal the insecurity within you, it's not a personality trait, it's a dysfunction that's come about, like a learned dysfunction kind of thing. But once you heal that, what's behind that for you, you're not going to have that same pull to be so attached. So attached. So be firmer. It's like, if Gavin's triggering you right now, it's good for you because it's showing you where your insecurities lie so that you can deal with that, not change it, not change the conditions, but it's shining a light on that insecurity. So when you feel that insecurity, instead of trying to change the dynamics of the relationship, you ask yourself instead, go into meditation, ask yourself, where's this coming from? Where have I felt this? Why do I feel this pull to kind of control this situation or become more attached? It's got the clues. It's got the clues for you. Cal, thank you. You're a single mum with 3 children. Me too. I was. I feel like we've had a run of bad luck. But that sucks. It's so hard with children. It's hard enough anyway, isn't it? Life's hard enough anyway, but when you've got that responsibility and it's just you, it's hard. Very hard. All I can say there is stick with it. It won't always be this way. It's hard. I know it's hard. When we're single parents, we have to be the masculine and the feminine at the same time, and that's hard going. And I think that's one of the worst things about this age that we're going through at the moment. I don't think it's going to last, but for those of us that had children with this, you've got to be everything yourself, independent thing. It's hard, really, really hard. And I would be lying if I think that anyone can be everything like that and can, manage to support yourself and support your children and be it all, and also be this, amazing person doing great things out there and then it working out for you. I don't think the world is even open to that. I didn't manage it. I just about kept my head above water as a single parent with 3 kids. I was just running a business. I wasn't doing anything else and looking after the kids, but it was hard. And part of me felt like a failure for not being able to make my business more. And I look back and I think, it was amazing. I was amazing that I managed to do all of that as I did, We're in a world that's not conducive. We're told like we should be everything, we should be doing more and all of that. It's not conducive to doing that. We don't have the support to do that. It's enough. You're enough to be keeping your head above water. And so you feel like you've had a run of bad luck. It's not really bad luck. It's just the world isn't supportive of us and of people in your situation. See, that's what I'm feeling right now too, is like my rant on Monday about the algorithm and how it's like those of us that are trying to do good in the world and put good stuff out there, the algorithm's like, we don't want that, we want shit. We want to incite rage and have, we'll only support those that are inciting rage and the ones that are getting all of those comments from those crazy people that are online. They're the only ones that are getting the traction on YouTube and on Facebook and all of that. And it's like, well, what about us? What about us? And I think there's a time coming, but it's not now. Unfortunately, it's not, but I think there is a time coming where if we just stay true to ourselves and try and keep our heads above water, that will come good. I don't think we can manifest it within the current climate, unfortunately. I don't think it's bad luck, Cal. I don't think it is. I think it's hard, and I think we've got to acknowledge ourselves for being able to keep afloat and keep our minds intact and our hearts intact and survive this, unfortunately. And there was a time when I was going through all of that where I had to keep the hope alive and was teaching people, we can manifest better than this, but I couldn't manifest better than that, and I was trying to manifest better than that for myself as hard as I possibly could. Like with all my energy, I was trying to manifest better than that and even teach that. And I couldn't, and we can't. It's enough. We are expecting way too much of ourselves to be able to thrive in times like this. It's enough. You're enough. What you're doing is enough. You're doing great, and good for you for doing that. And I know it's really hard. It is. It's really hard. And don't ever let anyone say that you should be doing more than you're doing. I think it's going to come good. I think we've got to a point where there's going to be a turning point. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Hang on in there, Cal. It's hard. And you, Shelley, too, and everyone else experiencing that kind of thing, or whatever your battle is. Stay in touch, everybody. We've got a group on Facebook. Join it. Here it is. I'm terrible at typing, you know. I don't put all the letters in. I rely completely on predictive or corrective typing. Join our community. Yeah, let's keep the conversation going in the Facebook community. If you're on Facebook, join that there. So there you go. Hope that answered your question sufficiently, Shell and Cal. Hang on in there. Okay, so yeah, check out my YouTube channel later. What's next in your love life is what I'm doing for the pick a card read later on today. And don't forget to click like on this video, subscribe. Don't forget to comment on all my videos and all of that kind of thing. Not that it seems to help the algorithm at all. It must be helping somewhat. It's scary for me right now. My savings are, I am paying for this business right now. I'm not making money from it. I'm losing money on it. It's taking my savings to pay for all the services that I've got. Scary, scary, scary. But I'm feeling to persevere with it. And as I say, collaborations and stuff like that. So with regards to collaborations, if you follow any people that are interviewing people, people doing good work out there, podcasts or anything like that, put them onto me or put me onto them. It feels like it's time to kind of bring the community together now. I know I kind of tried doing that with that 21 questions video, but that didn't work. People didn't do it themselves or anything like that. But so perhaps it's more like me fostering personal connections with people, and getting this movement sorted out, moving forward, you know. Patreon. I've never checked it out. I know people use that. Yeah. I'm thinking up new things. I'm feeling change, and my guides have got saying collaborations in my ear, so that's the way I'm going to go. So if you know of anyone, let me know who they are. Well, have a good one, everybody. I'm out of here. Wow, that was a long one. 1.5 hours. Let's do this all over again on Friday. I'll see you then. Bye.